we live up there? Are we live? Background. All right. All
Yeah,
right.
sure.
All right. All right. Okay.
I see it.
All righty. Here we go, y'all. Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that.
Sell you a fool for this one. That's right. FHO. Shit. Let's go. Huh? FHO. 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 Big sale in your radio. FHO. 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 Big sale on your radio. FHO. 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 Big sale in your radio. FHO. Banger alert. Banger alert. Big sale on your radio. Big sale on your radio. Best podcast show since the Misfits couldn't carry on. But I'ma carry on and get the party cracking. The homegirl 7 carats known for text blasting. Get she on the rock. If you want action, 800 plus, it's a known fashion. Keep a backup plan cause the wheels cracking. Big sale can keep it real. What a passion. All gas, no break, in and out of traffic. You see your brother on a hole, respect the passions. Whether they outlaws or outcasts. Big sales top 5 when you in traffic. Roger ride, mind your business, stay in your own lane. Respect others and accept the game. Spread black love the old-fashioned way. You miss the West with the South, it's the master pass. FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale in your radio. FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale on your radio. FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale in your radio. FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale on your radio.
Again, appreciate y'all, man. I love you guys. Thank you for the calls. Thank you for the donations. Don't forget, man, support the channel, support the platform. I need you. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. And again, man, I love you guys. Don't forget the 5 things I'm gonna leave you with. Ride your own ride, stay in your own lane, mind your business. Have enough love in yourself to have some love for me. We're gonna ride for love and let it ride, man. We gone, man.
FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale in your radio. FHO, FHO.
Yeah, that dude sound like a young Too Short. I swear.
FHO. Big sale on your radio. FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale in your radio. FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale on your radio. FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale in your radio. FHO, FHO, FHO. Big sale on your radio.
All right, we got it. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm fresh off the road. When I tell you I ran in and threw everybody working and realized now that we're gonna have to do some testing before we get started. Again, it's my fault. Guns was ready. Like I said, fresh off the road. I had to go to Memphis. So it is what it is. First off, thank everybody for my birthday love. Today is my birthday. Turned 51 today. It has been nothing but a pleasure. As always, I know it's a gift and a blessing to be 51 years old, still healthy, still can get on one of you young punks' ass. You understand? I know y'all think I look a little out of shape and some more shit, but I'm here, man. I'm ready. And John, thank you for being patient with me, man. Just trying to get all this together. But like I said, I literally ran right in and didn't even unpack the car and turned everything on and had to realize that we got to reset browser. So we're good to go. Again, thanks for all the birthday shout outs. I love everybody. Thanks for all my people mad at me today on Facebook about their back wheel not matching their front wheel. And all my partners that's got their bikes in the trailer going to Daytona, man. When I tell you, Guns, they've been tearing my ass up today. They been mad at me for real. I'm talking about they mad. They mad.
Hey, if you trailing your bike, man, that's just that's just how it is.
They mad though, bro. I'm talking about these motherfuckers is upset, man. They mad for real, man. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. All right, so it is what it is. MC 101 tonight, man. Y'all know how it go down. Me and my man, two guns and me. You know, we talk about this shit, protocol, tradition, and we just simply give you what it's supposed to be. So let me give you the disclaimer before we start. So once Two Guns explain what he explained, and I tell you what it is, I explain what I explain. If your MC is not running like that in your area, if your dominant is not running like that, don't you go back and tell them, well, Two Guns and Big Sale said we don't get your head busted white me fucking with me and Guns. You understand? So my disclaimer is this: if we don't say your name, we're not talking about you. If we don't say your club, we're not talking about your club. We're not talking about you. We're talking about them. We're not talking about your club. We're talking about their club. But again, we're bringing tradition and protocol, and we're dropping the knowledge from the base, from what it started off as and what it's supposed to be. We try to make sense of everything that's going on, and we don't know everything. We are not the gurus of this stuff. Two Guns been in this thing, and he's been on both sides, the 1% side and the 99% side. So he's qualified to speak on all things 1%. He's been on both sides of the 1%, white side and the black side, just in case you didn't know. So he's qualified again to speak on all things 1%. Me personally, I've motorcycled better than most of you. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm qualified to speak on motorcycling. You feel what I'm saying? And my credentials are I ride my motorcycle. So it is what it is, man. And that's why we're here. And hopefully, you guys can gain some knowledge from this show, and that you guys can just take what you need to take and not give up on the MC. Because right now, Guns, it's hard not to give up on the MC, man.
It goes in circles, man. It's them cycles, man, where you always have one. You know, you always got something that happens, and then it just kind of like it deflates you, man. And then you gotta look at the love for it and get right back in it. So that's how it is for me.
Yeah, so all right, we're gonna get into this thing, Guns. What you got? Where you want to start at, brother? Where you want to start?
The first thing, man, I mean, I got a chance to listen to your podcast the other day, and y'all, you know, if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, man, he was hot as fish grease. I mean, you know, and that just shows passion for this, a bigger picture. And I think that's what's getting lost is the small fishes, and they missing the big picture. And the first thing, man, and you said this, and I wanted to reiterate it because for some reason or another, people is out there promoting this and broadcasting this. And the funny thing about it, man, what you don't get when you say things like this is you're just, that's the biggest level of disrespect that you ever could do to anything to say. When you go out and say that white dominants hate black bikers or black clubs, come on. I mean, think about what you just said. You know, not only did you categorize all of the Big Five and the rest of the white 1% dominant clubs, not only did you categorize them in one big pool, but it's so unfair for you to even address something like that unless you've been a part of it or seen it or understand it. Now, like you said, I've been on both sides. Is there racism in that element? Fuck yeah. Is there racism when you go to work? Yeah. Is there racism when you go to fucking Starbucks or whatever the fuck you go to? Yeah, it's always going to be that. And you're always going to have that one motherfucker that's just that person. But if you look at it, and this is, I'll say this one real quick. I'm not going to get too much into a long story because I do want to touch back on some other things with the clubhouse. But I got a chance to sit down for about 2.5 hours, man, and talk to one of the founding. I mean, he was there when it started. He was the national president twice of the Mongols. I got a chance to sit down and have a conversation with him. And my question to him was specifically why wasn't there integration? Why did they decide to integrate? Because ultimately, when the questions that always presented to me was if the Mongols was trying to do this, and then they were basically so no, and then they started their own thing. Well, why wouldn't that lead over to integration in all races? Because in all honesty, the concept of that, first concept of that was a situation where they weren't allowed to be a part of it because they were Hispanic. So you look at that and you say, and people have always asked me this, and they say that just doesn't make any sense. If you already saw the racist, or not the prejudice, and then you identify your club as specifically a certain thing, then it's not necessarily hypocritical, but in a sense, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. So I asked him the question. I said, just why wasn't there integration at the time? He says, well, you have to understand the elements of what was happening at that time and the elements of things that happen that are beyond the motorcycle set, and specifically towards the jails in which you have different entities that are, in with each other. So when those things come out to the streets, you can't have that mix and stuff like that. Completely understood. I understood where he was going with it because I've been in California. I understand California politics. It's just a little different than things, and people don't understand it. But there are politics in California, and there's a large political system in LA and around the surrounding areas. So, that was kind of where he addressed it. But he told me this. He said, we got love for everybody that got love for us. And we hang out with a lot of different groups. And that's just the way it is. If you look at most of the 1% dominance that's out there within the Big Five, they hang out with everybody. They hang out with people that's good with them. They hang out with people that got respect for them. They hang out with people that are going to, have the same thing, riding motorcycles, enjoying, having a drink, having a beer. And you even said it, man. Here you are in the mix of the Big Five, three of the Big Five, and you breaking bread with them and just basically talking like you would normally talk to your buddies, your boys, this and that. And that's what it's about. So when people get online and just say, well, we protecting you because the white dominance is going to fuck you up. Come on, man. I mean, why would you even address that? And somebody asked me the question. The reason why I want to talk about it was they asked me that question. And I said, man, I don't know who told you that. But come on now, that's that's not the process, the process that happens. The concept that comes down to it is in this lifestyle, this community and everything, we're always going to integrate with each other. We're always going to have, because we got a common ground, we got a common goal. That's to ride our motorcycles, enjoy ourselves, have a good time, and that's what we're trying to do. So why would you then put an element into it that's one, not factual? I'm telling you from my perspective, I've been around every Big Five. I've been around other clubs that are not the Big Five, but they are white 1% clubs, white OMCs, white dominance. I've been in Colorado. I mean, all over Colorado, where there's 7 or 8 of them. I've been up in Chicago, in Detroit. I've been East Coast, West Coast. I've been in Hawaii, been in Germany, Australia. I've been in all of these places, and in every one of these places, I've never had an issue where all of a sudden somebody's like, I don't want to be with this person because they're white, or I want to be with this person because they're black. I mean, come on, man. When you do stuff like that, you fuck the game up. And you fuck the game up because all you're doing is playing on these racist emotions, and that's not where it is. Now, if somebody comes up to you and they're racist or whatever it is, you take care of business. You handle business as it is. But then don't go spreading rumors and then all of a sudden categorizing all white 1% dominance into one pool, because that's not how it is. And you wouldn't want all of a sudden, like somebody saying, well, we don't mess around with the urban set, because the urban set is this bunch of motherfuckers that want to party, drink, hang out, or whatever it is, and act stupid. I mean, how would you feel if somebody was saying that? How would you feel if somebody said something that was even more derogative? So,
but let me say this, not to interrupt you. I want to say this. From the very beginning, when I started motorcycling, okay, I was always told that there were two kind of MCs, whites and blacks. Okay, hold on. I was always told that as blacks, we are not allowed to even talk to the whites. If you see them, don't say nothing, the whole 9 yards. The other thing that I was told was that the whites take motorcycling more serious than the blacks. That's why they don't fuck with us. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Hold on.
Yeah, I've heard.
Okay. Another thing that I've heard also is that the whites, and I'm gonna say this now, I'm not trying to step on no toes, goddammit, but I heard this. I was told that the whites came to the blacks and said, hey, if you don't get these niggas in line, we will. So that's how the black dominance became lowered over the 99%ers. Now, again, this is what I've heard. This is what I was taught from day one. This is what was embedded in me. This is what was instilled in me. And for whatever reason, you feel what I'm saying? It is still being taught today. I promise you this, hands down. And the scary thing about it, let me finish. Hold on. The scary thing about a gun, is that from day one, and I'm gonna say it, from day one, I automatically said, well, this is some slave racist shit.
Absolutely.
Because if the white man, the white OMC, the and I'm outlaw, make whatever, so forth. So if they have went to the black dominants and told them, hey, get these niggas in line, or we will, and they came to us, hey, y'all got to stop doing this, y'all got to stop doing that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then that's nothing but that's the slave mentality, and it's always bothered me. So that's the
Django. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So that's why I told you guys in that pod, I was fucked up. When I went to Orlando, Florida to that bike night, and I saw that, it fucked me up. I'm talking about literally where I was shaking, like, man, it was unbelievable. Because here it is, the people that from day one when I came in here, the people that were told that the people that I was told were my enemy are now sitting right here next to me, and if they didn't speak, they head nodded. What's happening? The head nod. You walk past. So, which is a form of speaking. Okay. Not only are they fucking with us, but they getting along with what we've been taught is enemy of the enemy of the enemy. That type of shit. You understand what I'm saying? So let me say this. Let me finish. I'm gonna wrap it up and I'm gonna give it back to you. Let me say this to everybody that's out there. I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again tonight. This motorcycle shit is about grown men and grown women being grown. We are never, under any circumstances, supposed to fear anybody for any reason. And if we're on the bike set and for any reason, we are scared of this group of people, that group of people, then the bike set is fucked up and I don't want to be a part of it. That's just
this what gets me, and this is the biggest issue, is a conversation, and this is how shit gets twisted and gets fucked up. A conversation may have happened, and I don't know, because guess what? I wasn't fucking there, so I don't know. But a conversation may have happened, and it probably went like this: hey man, we're not diverse as you guys in terms of what you guys do on your set. I'll explain. On the white side, it's pretty simple process, man. You go to your clubhouse, you hang out with your brothers, you do stuff, you hit the bars, you come back home, you hang. It ain't no extra stuff in that. They get on the bikes, they ride, they go to spots, and then they typically go back and go home. That's it. You ain't gonna see them in no clubs. You're not gonna see them at Johnny's spot. You're just not gonna see them in the elements because they don't. They say gangsters don't dance. They really don't go out there to dance, whatever it is. Most of the guys are just really laid back guys. So they are not going to have an understanding of how a younger kid wants to go out and party and do all the rest, because that's not their element. So naturally, why would a white dominant, in the terms of this, because this is something that happened a long time ago. This conversation happened in the 60s and the 70s. But why would they go to there and then all of a sudden try to say to somebody that is a younger guy, somebody that likes to go out, I don't understand your dynamics. So here's what we do. You guys take care of your side, and then we'll take care of our side. And that way we don't have no issues and no problems and things like that, because we don't have the diversity that you guys have. We don't have the elements. We aren't, it's not like, we don't look at freedom of expression. And that's really, when you look at the urban set really is, and it's always been about freedom of expression. That's not even motorcycling, man. We're talking across the spectrum, lowriders, cars, everything like that. Anytime that you've ever seen a minority, they're going to have their own twist on it. They're going to have their own thing on it. And that's just not how it happens with the Big Five. They're pretty much solid locked in. Now, that conversation got twisted into the process of all of a sudden, man, y'all take care of them dudes, or take care of them, I don't even say the word, but, take care of them and we ain't fucking with them. And that's not how it is. And in all honesty, for the longest time, I think that was kind of the words that was being put down. So all of a sudden, this person don't want to talk to that person. This person don't want to talk to that person. Cats don't even understand what's going on. And next thing you know, there's a difference between the two. Well, guess what? It all started from one motherfucker starting some dumbass shit and saying some dumbass shit like that. Because I can tell you this without a doubt. There's been every race in the damn world have been at a Mongol clubhouse. Simple as that. I done been to the Sun's house, to the Banditos house. I've been all over all over Colorado, all of this. I have always seen a mix of people in there. From the Outlaws clubs, you have actual clubs that are white dominant clubs that, guess what? They got black supports in them. Now, how does that work? And how is, if your philosophy and your concept is correct, how is that actually working? Would they just run around? Now, trust me, there are some elements and there are some older situations where there were some clubs that, you know, their bylaws dictated or their bylaws said things and stuff like that. But you can't take one element and then group it into everybody. And all of a sudden, you know, that's when you go there and you like looking at them sideways and they like, man, what the fuck wrong with you, man? Oh, well, I didn't think we fuck with each other. Yeah, man, shit, let's go talk, you know, let's have a drink, man. Let's hang out with each other. And that's always how it is. But that's what I want people to understand. You're hearing it from me. He done said it already. He done told you already. You're hearing it from me. You can't group in all dominance from one specific race or whatever it is. That's like saying, well, all the blacks hate the whites. All the whites hate the blacks. Man, we got so much more shit that we need to be worrying about than whether blacks and whites can get along. We get along. We just need to stop fucking bringing that bullshit ass shit to the table. Now, if somebody disrespect you, then handle that thing. It ain't got nothing to do with white, black. It got to do with motorcycle. Motherfucker that disrespect you, you got to take care and handle business. But the whole thing comes down to it is you can't be grouping everybody in one fucking thing and making it out like, oh, this is how shit works. That's not how it works, man.
But let me say this too, because this the part that always has fucked me up. This the part that always has fucked me up. How can we motorcycle different? They motorcycle got two wheels and a goddamn gas tank in the seat. You know, they might not have a tour pack or whatever. My motorcycle got two wheels and a gas tank in the seat. And we, if motorcycling is motorcycling, this is what I'm going to tell y'all, because this shit, we're going to get to the bottom of shit. If motorcycling is motorcycling, then how can you have two different types of motorcycling? Now, granted, you got the white pride, you got the Mexican pride, you got the black pride, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has the right to be proud of their heritage and the whole 9 yards. Can't nobody, that is what it is, hands down.
That's the
that is what it is, hands down. That he said, that's diversity.
Yeah.
However, what we cannot do and what we shall not do is allow any one group or any one race to be above or over another. And that's the problem that I have. That's the part that I have a problem with. So when it comes down to it, hold on, caller. When it comes down to it, it has always fucked me up when it was said, well, the whites don't fuck with the black because y'all playing motorcycling and they for real motorcycling. Like, for example,
come on, man.
let me say this. And again, I'm gonna say this. Okay. Last year at Rare Breed's anniversary, the Mongols had a presence there. They were there, hanging out, doing their thing. And I'm gonna tell you this, hands down. It is a little iffy. It is a little. And it's only because of the unknown. And for me, it was only because of the shit that I had been taught prior to seeing them at Rare Breed's anniversary. You understand what I'm saying? That, you know, you kind of let them have their space. You kind of don't stay away from them. I wouldn't approach a Mongol like I would approach you, Guns, because I know you or whatever. But I'm saying, because of that myth, it was exciting and kind of it was mysterious. It was exciting. It was scary. It was all of these different things to see the Mongols 50, 60 deep at a Rare Breed picnic. You understand what I'm saying? And all I'm gonna say is this, man. All I'm gonna say is this: is that again, ladies and gentlemen, manhood is manhood, hands down. Nobody in my book, no man walking this earth will be too big for me to speak to, think that I can be equal with, or any of that. It's just not gonna happen for the kid. It ain't gonna happen for Big Sale. So again, I want to applaud Sin City in Orlando for showing me and giving me the true knowledge that, hey, Sil, that ain't how this shit go. That is not how this shit go. And go meet him. Hold on, you want to go meet him? Go meet him. And I'm like, for real? They're like, yeah. So,
man, like you said, the concept of this, man, is we do the same thing. Man, we get on our motorcycles and we ride. The difference is just the way we do it. Like in terms of if we decide that we want to do this or we go here, we go there. That's the separation, man. There's a different way of doing it. There's a different style of doing it. And that's just how it is, man. I mean, the whole thing that comes down to it, and really what I wanted to address, and maybe some of the fallacies that happen, would be the understanding of coming into a clubhouse, and somebody might feel some kind of way if you come into the clubhouse. Now, I would say that the separation between those sides historically were a little different in terms of clubhouses versus now the clubhouses. Like I was just shocked when I went to an event with my former nation, and cats rolled up and they bumping. So I was like, because usually you come up to the clubhouse, you shut your shit down, and that's just kind of how it is. So, you look at the transitions and you see what happens, and we see each other, man. We watching each other and we do things with each other. And those integrations, man, they come across, and they're always gonna come across. And they're always gonna be a situation where somebody's gonna pick this up or somebody's gonna pick that up. But what it comes down to is it's no different on either side. We just do things differently, and that's just kind of how it is. So the biggest thing I think that has changed, and some of the stuff that's really changed, is that it used to be, man, we really not doing that. We don't really care about that. But now it's like, hey, man, we accept what you're doing. Do what you do, man. And that's one of the bigger changes with the newer guys. And that may be some of the issues and some of the things that maybe people seen back in the day where they felt like, well, we ain't messing with them because they do things a different way and we don't like that. But that's really not how it is, man. I mean, now you talking 2020, man. The world itself is so diverse. So now it's time for us to stop making these fucking excuses and all of a sudden living in the boogeyman past. Man, the boogeyman past is over with, man. We all just trying to get out here, ride our bikes, man, and do it safely, man. And I give a shout out to Big Sarge, man, down there in Jacksonville, and the bros out there with Sin City, man. They done got together and producing this whole prospect, man, of bringing the urban clubs in. And even in some senses, man, they bringing in the dominance too in terms of on the white side. And that's really what that was about. And that's really kind of the process they're establishing is, look, man, this is just how we do it, man. And the funny thing about it, man, I seen somebody's up there with Detroit and this and that. But the funny thing about it, man, is that if we can do it in Jacksonville, then you can do it in Detroit. If we can do it in North Carolina, you can do it in California. The whole aspect of it is getting away from these old stereotypes and these old BS, lines, and just saying, look, man, we got some shit in common. We just do shit differently, man. Let's get on these fucking bikes and ride and enjoy ourselves and have a good time, man. And that's what it is. We ain't got to hold hands, sing kumbaya, but we definitely can respect each other. We definitely can toast a beer or a soda or some milk, whatever it is, whatever you do if you don't drink, and do that, and that's what it's all about. And I think that's where the other side is really reaching out and saying, look, all the rest of this bullshit, man, if you guys reach your hand back out, they're there for y'all.
I just sent my letter of resignation. I'm on the phone. So, are you ready for me?
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, I lost you, Sal.
No, I'm waiting for him to finish.
You should be good, man. I can hear you.
Hey, Phil, you there? Hey, look, man. It's like this, man. I was down in Florida back in October, right? And I'm not gonna say no names, but I sat at a table and I ate. I had dinner with a cat that was Sons of Solomon Nomad. I'm not gonna mention his name, but dude, yeah, he had the Nazi shit on his jeans and whatnot. But guess what? My man, who was a pagan, I won't mention his name, he introduced me to the dude. And guess what? The next day when I saw him at the dealership, the brother came up to me and dapped me up and gave me a hug. Hey, look, I ain't got no problem with that. I fucks with everybody who fucks with me. The bottom line is that it's all about how you carry yourself. I got a cat here in Northern Virginia that's a Mongol who I've been fucking with since he was with another club, and now he's a Mongol But guess what? I still fuck with him, man. And the thing is that we have to understand that if you ride your shit, people, if they invite you to shit, then you need to go. You can't feel like, oh man, they don't fuck with us. No. Take your motherfucking ass if they invite you. Go to that motherfucking clubhouse. You've been invited. So therefore, now you put your safety in that man's hands, and you trust that man to go to his clubhouse. So that means you have the trust in that brother. Because that's what he is to me, a brother, because we own these tools. The fucking enemy, in my opinion, is the fucking government, bro. Real talk.
Real talk.
Oh yeah, well, happy birthday, bro.
Hey, can you hear me? Because he's talking. I don't think he can hear you.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear Sal?
Yeah, Sal, I hear you, bro.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, you still there? I can't hear you.
Hey, Sal, you can't hear you, man.
Wow, there you go, right there.
There you
Can y'all
go.
hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been saying this shit. I've been talking all this time and couldn't even. So listen, what I'm saying. Wow. All I'm saying is this, man. From the very beginning, I've been taught this shit, and I bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And I hate it. I hate everybody that taught me that shit. I hate every motherfucker that told me that I could not talk to a white boy on a motorcycle. I could not talk to an outlaw. I could not talk to a pagan or a Mongol or whoever, or I hate you. And I'm telling you this right now because understand this. I consider myself to be a super bad motherfucker on this motorcycle set. I really do. I don't give a fuck if y'all disagree or agree. It is what it is. I ride my motorcycle and I seek knowledge. I ride my motorcycle to seek knowledge. I don't listen. When you invite me to your party, the ride is your party, not the party. Fuck your party. The ride is your party. When I get there and I see you and I see you well and I see you smiling and we get them few giggles in, I'm done. Shit, I can head on back home, to be honest. Give me some rest and head on back home. But let me tell y'all something. If there's any of my white OMCs or my white one percenters, if there's any of you guys on here listening, I truly want to apologize to you for buying into the stereotype of the racism of the modern day slavery that I had been taught to be a, to buy into the fact that you don't fuck with me because of my skin color or because we motorcycle different. Understand this. In every level of motorcycling, from the independent side to the 99% side to the 1% side, yes, there are levels. And yes, if you at this level, you're not gonna understand this level. You understand what I'm saying? If you at this level, you're not gonna understand that level.
Hey,
But
so they still ain't hearing you, man. So just so y'all know,
wow.
I don't know what's going on, but just so y'all understand what he's trying to say is he's trying to say that he has been taught or he has been told for the longest time that basically the whites was not fucking with him and they wasn't fucking with anybody else but the whites. And that is a fallacy. That's false and that's not true. And he basically just reached out to all the dominants, all the whites, any biker out there to understand that it ain't about this or it's not about that, whatever it is. He comes out, he goes out, and he does his, his thing on his bike. That's the love that he has for it. And to be told, and this is the biggest issue, man, to be told lies like that for the longest time, and then you live by those lies, and then all of a sudden you find out, like, damn, these motherfuckers, that was some bullshit, man, And I can tell you from the fact that, I've had that, understanding of whatever it is, because people didn't get it and people didn't understand when they saw the swastikas and they see stuff like that, because as soon as they see the swastikas, all of a sudden they just like, oh, the motherfucker's racist. I mean, you know what? The first thing you need to do is ask them, hey, what is this really about, man? What is this specifically about? And the funny thing about it was one dude, I seen those swastika eyes, and I say, man, what's the swastika about it? And it was the 2 S's for the name of the club. So I was just like, so that's it. I said, you understand the significance of that? And he was like, yeah, I understand the significance. He goes, but that's not what it's about, man. Anybody that judges me based on that or sees that thing like that, automatically they just like, oh, he's racist. He goes, they never got a chance to get to know me. And so if they don't want to get to know me, that's fine. I don't really necessarily have to get to know them. But if they ask me the question, I tell them, when they look at me and they get a chance to talk to me, they realize I'm a cool motherfucker, man. All I want to do is enjoy myself and have a good time. And that's really what it's about. I think a lot of cats get it fucked up. And then, then it's like, I hate the fear mongering. I hate when people do that shit. It's like, look, I work for OSHA. Motherfuckers be like, oh, the OSHA, the boogeyman. Motherfucker, we ain't the boogeyman. We safety motherfuckers. You doing shit right, we ain't fucking with you. But if you fucking up, then, if you're going to kill somebody, then we need to talk to you about something, because we don't want to get people killed. It's the same way on the set, man. Motherfuckers is just like, all of a sudden, if you throwing the boogeyman in there, man, you got to watch out. You got to come and be our support club, because the white's going to fuck you up if you don't. Come on, man. Come on, man. That was the story I heard, man, from somebody asked me that question. I told him, not without even a question, man, without even thinking about it. I said, man, that's the biggest crock of shit you ever fucking hear. And if it's like that situation of this and that, just like Sale's trying to tell you guys, man, we fucking men first and foremost, man. And the whole thing that comes down to it is simple process, man. Motherfuckers step to you and they step to you wrong, you either handle it your way or you step away. That's simple as that, man. But motherfucker come to me and they act stupid or whatever it is, and we just got to do what we got to do, man. I'm a fucking man first, man. That vest don't mean shit. But it's like, DJ Vegas, man, is saying it right now. He says it's going to be racist on both sides, man. And that's just how it is, man. But the biggest aspect that we talk about and what I want everybody to understand in terms of that is you're going to have people, man, that you might have people in the chapter and they're not good with blacks. They're not good with whites. They're not good with Mexicans. But then you're going to have 5 other motherfuckers that's we good, man. We good. Like, I'll give you an example, man. I don't want to throw him out there, but there's a bro that's out there right now. He's in LA. And, he was one of the biggest friends, see him at every party, hanging out at every party with the Mongols. I mean, we still, to this day, man, we talk and hang out and we chat or whatever it is, man. And he was one of the biggest influences in terms of like just people getting, getting away from that process, because all of a sudden they seen the Mongols and they're like, these dudes is hanging deep with them, man. They hanging with them. So all of a sudden was the lies that the Mongols don't hang out with blacks. They don't get along with blacks. I mean, it's
well, let me say this. Let me say this, if you guys can hear me. What I'm saying is this, and I hope you guys can hear me, because I want to make this claim. If they don't understand what I've been taught, not to fuck with them, and when I see them, I don't fuck with them, then how do I expect them to fuck with me? So now they're going to say I'm acting funny. I'm saying they acting funny. And we both, you understand what I'm saying?
You perpetuating the situation because you ain't understanding, because you like looking at them, they looking at you. And you know what? Here's the best thing in the world. You see this right here? Y'all see my hand? A handshake. A handshake. Hey, how you doing, man? Blah, 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 blah. Introduce yourself, man. It's an amazing concept, man.
So with that being said is that I now understand again, and I'm gonna stand on this to the day that I die. I'm gonna stand on this to the day that I die. The problem with the motorcycle set, especially the black set, is that the us as men have not stood on accepting and understanding that this shit is man shit or woman shit first. So I don't give a fuck what your preference is. I don't care what your race is, what your religion is. I don't care what none of that is. You got two choices when I speak, to speak or not speak, and I'm done with it. But again, like I said earlier, to all my OMCs, to all my white 1%ers and to all my white OMCs, I apologize because I was told that y'all don't fuck with us and for us not to fuck with y'all. So let's get that done. Let's get that straight right now. Now, I'm not saying we just gonna bum rush the clubhouse and hey, it's still protocol. You still should be invited. But whenever you do see one, hey brother, how you doing? You know, and again, it's scary. I ain't gonna tell you no lie because of all of the shit that you've been told that the white side they kill us for real. They don't, you know, they'll chop your head off, and you know, then you see the different incidences that have happened, the Twin Peaks and all the other shit that went down in the whole 9 yards. But am I scared of a man or am I scared of a myth? Like Gunn said, the boogeyman, the ghost of the myth. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the part that we got to get past. And this show tonight, man, for me was important. And Guns, hold on, Guns picked the topic for me tonight. Top, I'm on live. You want to get down?
What's going on, Big Joe? How you doing?
I'm on live. You want to get on?
Oh, sure, I get on.
Okay, you know what we talking about. Yeah. Anyway, hold on. I'll bring you in a minute. Just hold on. So anyway, for me, man, to all my, and again, I want to apologize to all OMCs, all my 1%ers, the whole 9 yards. And for those who have used that, and for those who have used that to lord over the 99s and the independents, because some of y'all have used their premises to keep the education from being spread, to keep the knowledge from being spread. Because with the knowledge that I got now, it's almost like I'm finna start motorcycling all over. It's like I just now finna start motorcycling. You understand what I'm saying? Because now it's a new piece of it. I got a call on the phone, man. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Call her, state your name and where you calling from. And tonight, if you probably wasn't tuning in, but we're talking about why do white OMCs hate blacks? State your name, where you calling from.
Hey, this is Top, Sand City Nation down here in Tampa, Florida. Really, I think that's a myth. When you say that, the reason why is in our club we've got white, black, Hispanics, you know, Mexicans in our club, and they all get along. I think the myth of it is that everybody fears the black person, especially a strong black person, and that's what causes the hatred that we have in the MC world right now.
So my thing is
when
hold on, Top, real quick. My thing is this, Top. I was just down there in Orlando at a bike night, and I saw everybody functioning. And you know how devastating that was for me because you was there with me. You know that it devastated me to the point to where it paused me. It fucked me up. You were there with me. But my thing of it is this, Top, is that I just told the nation, I was taught to not speak to a white club, especially a white dominant or a white 1%er. I was taught that from the day I came into the bike set. And I'm telling you, a lot of people have been taught that. And it's crazy because we missed out on so much motorcycling by not being there. And again, there is levels of respect. You do have to know how to approach these cats. You do have to know how to be a man and how to make this whole thing work. You do have to know that. But in your opinion, Top, where did that come from?
That came from the lack of knowledge. Really, back in the day, it's got that 1960 mentality, you know, where they did pretty much run the country, where everybody was scared of the Hells Angels, the Outlaws, and those pagans and all those 1% clubs there. But over the years, that hatred has changed. Let me give you a prime example. You got an outlaw that's married to a black woman in a chapter.
A lot of
Whoever
them
thought
are
that would ever happen?
You got Mongols that are married to black women.
Yeah, married to a black woman. That's right. And see, now they're changing. You've got 1% white clubs that's now accepting black people to the club. That's never happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different stereotype when you look.
Well, look here, brother. I appreciate the call. We on live. This is what we're talking about tonight. We're gonna get into Clubhouse rules. My man Mansa 517 say, "What size of my what size are your tap shoes sell?" If that's supposed to be a joke, Mansa, fuck you too. If they're your size, I borrowed them from you. Goddamn, how about that?
I wonder if that's my man Missing from Oakland.
I don't know. Yeah. If it is, yeah, I bought it. They're your size. Goddamn, how about that? No, but all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is this, man, on some real shit. For me, it was eye-opening. For me, it was awesome. For me, it was the shit to see it and to witness it and to be in that environment. And all I'm saying is that the ice for me has been broken.
They did go.
Yeah. The ice for me, the ice for me has been broken, and I'm with it, man. Yeah. I'm all with it. So.
No, Ghost, you're right. Chosen Fuse, they've been mixed quite some time. Definitely. I think first one was White Boy Art, if I'm mistaken. I don't know, I don't know they things, but I've heard that before. He just recently passed. So
yeah,
shout out to the few. But I do want to get into the Clubhouse rules real quick, man. Just kind of flow through that one before everything, gets, before we get to that time. But I would say one of the things that I did want to address with this. And it's just something that has been, and there's been situations, scenarios, and I've heard a few things that have been going on the last couple times. And understand something, man. A motherfucker's clubhouse is his clubhouse, man. That's fucking his house, man. And people come into the house and being disrespectful in the house. I told a story. I told this thing. So here's what happened, man. I'm sitting at this OMC's clubhouse, man. You just breaking bread. So the first thing I did when I came up, I said, "Hey, man, where the Sarge at, man?" And they're like, "Yeah, he over here, whatever it is, this and that, blah, blah, blah." He comes over. I'm like, "Hey, man, introduce myself, 2 guns, this and that. I'm just coming here to break bread. Got a half gallon, man. If y'all, want to do some shots or whatever it is, man, I get the rest to the house. Just basically a parlay. And that's what you should be doing is a fucking parlay." And went in, basically we chopped it up, man, had a great time that night. So I'm sitting there. Here's another club come in. They come in, they bumping, music blasting. They walk right past the sergeant at arms, didn't get no information, didn't parlay, didn't do nothing. Don't notice, wasn't invited, just showed up. Showed up at a motherfucking clubhouse. And so finally, the SA just was like, "Yo, what the fuck y'all doing, man?" And then they felt some kind of way because he went to him and was like, "Hey, man, what y'all doing, man?" Because the first thing that one of the dudes did when he walked in the clubhouse was he lit up a cigarette. So they walking in the clubhouse, walked past the SA and lit a cigarette up. And my man is like, "Yo, first off, you should have had a conversation with me and addressed this with me. And second, ain't no smoking in the clubhouse, man, because, they ladies like to be there and they don't want all that smoke all over their clothes. And that's the house rules. Those are the house rules. That's the reason why you fucking parlay. Same scenario, same situation. Anytime that you are going to come into contact with another club, OMCs, 99s, whatever it is, you always want to make sure that you parlay. You're going to parlay and you're going to have a conversation. A lot of times, if you got 2 clubs that are coming into each other, or they're coming into that scenario situation where they're coming into each other, you have the president and you have the sergeant at arms or another representative. Go with the president, and those 2 people are going to have a conversation. The reason why you do that is so you don't get the fucking knucklehead that's back there in the back running his fucking mouth. You have 2 people to have a conversation. If you're good to go, you're good to go. If you're not, you're good to go. Anybody that ever went to that clubhouse in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, they will tell you what I told them. You come in the house, this is the rules. This is how you do it, this and that. If you don't do the rules, you don't abide by the rules, your ass gonna be flying out there as fast as you can. Anybody Anybody that ever went to that clubhouse will tell you the same thing, and that's exactly what I used to tell them. And so that's what I addressed, and that's what I used to try to talk to people, because a lot of cats, man, they don't understand there's just general rules that you should do, and this is the education that's not being taught. You parlay when you come up there. The first thing you do is don't ride up to the fucking clubhouse with your music blaring. Turn your fucking music down. When you park, you're gonna park you're gonna park your bikes. Don't shine your fucking light at the clubhouse, man, because motherfuckers might be standing out there. And that's called ghosting them. You don't want to do that because it's disrespectful. Next thing you do, make sure you park your bike facing in. I mean, with your ass in. Reason why you do that, in case you got to get the fuck out fast, you get the fuck out fast. Those are just simple rules, general rules. But the first and foremost thing is, if you come up to somebody's house, you come up to somebody's house respectfully. You parlay, get the information, and then you go in. And when you go in, it's always going to be a shaking hands, how you doing, this and that. The reason why in some of the scenarios and situations, and maybe that you know there's these problems and issues, is going to be the concept that people aren't doing these things right. And I'm going to be honest with you, on the white side, that's the way it's done all the time. It's not, you don't deviate from that. That's what you do when you come to somebody's fucking house. The sergeant at arms, they talk. You get the information, you get that shit, you get all that shit. You come back and you tell your people, motherfuckers couldn't bring no guns in my house. If you don't want to bring your gun in your house, hey, just you good, man. We good. But everybody that came to the house respected the house. You know, that's just how it was. You know, we just didn't allow guns in the house, and there was a reason why. The thing that comes.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is this, and not to cut you off again, but the biggest thing is this, and I said this in my podcast. If you missed my podcast, go back and watch it.
I was getting ready to say it.
The motorcycle clubhouse is supposed to be the safest fucking place in the world.
Yeah.
What do I need to bring a gun if I'm on a motorcycle, let alone I'm in a motorcycle club or I am familiar with a motorcycle club? I got a vest on. I'm FHO. I'm motorcycling like a motherfucker. The clubhouse is supposed to be the safest goddamn place. I'm supposed to be able to, and don't take this the wrong way, all my law enforcement, but I'm supposed to be able to run from the police and hide in the clubhouse. You understand? I'm just saying. The clubhouse is supposed to be I don't need no weapon. I don't need no gun. I don't need shit when I'm in the clubhouse, because whatever happens, we as men are going to have a mutual understanding, and we're going to work it out, and we're going to get past it, because it can't be that motherfucking serious in the clubhouse.
Well, that's the whole thing that comes down to it, is the clubhouse is your clubhouse. I mean, how are you going to go to somebody fucking else's clubhouse and dictate what the fuck they doing in they fucking clubhouse? And if you don't understand it, man, it's the biggest level of disrespect that you could ever achieve. There's nothing higher than fucking going to somebody's clubhouse and acting like you're a fucking fool in their clubhouse. The same thing, man. You go into a clubhouse, man. If you got drama and shit that you was dealing with fucking 2 states ago with another club that's in your state or whatever it is, leave that shit at your fucking clubhouse. I mean, leave that shit in your state, man. You know, you ride all that way to come down to a big ass event, go into somebody else's fucking clubhouse, and you're acting a fucking fool, man. I mean, and that's just not how it is, man. And that's not just a 1% clubhouse. That's not just fucking the 90. We're talking everybody's fucking clubhouse. If that ain't your fucking house, you should respect that house, man. And that's one of the biggest things I think, and the cross that kind of comes about is you have to respect those people's houses, man. And because it's theirs. That's their level thing. That's their thing. A lot of guys will come in. I'll be just telling them, like, look, man, you in here, man, look, respect the house, man. That's the simple process. But if you're not going to respect the house, then why go there? Why be a part of that? Because all you're doing is creating controversy issues for even your own club. Because look, there's a movie, man. It just slipped my mind, man. But motherfuckers walked in a bar and they was acting a fool. And my man said, "Hey, close the door."
Yeah, we talked about this the other day.
That lock slid across that motherfucker. As soon as that lock hit that door, them motherfuckers was like, "Oh shit, okay, we done fucked up." And that's where you look at the process, that if you go into somebody's houses and you acting a fool in somebody's houses, and then you expect them to respect you, then you know that's just the Bronx Tale. That's what it's called. I mean, that's just a fucked up scenario, because they're not going to respect you, man. So if you want somebody to respect your house, and if you want somebody to respect you, then respect them. And that's really the ultimate message, man. But there's a lot of stuff within the clubhouses, man. But first and foremost, that I want to address and I wanted to talk about is, don't just show up at a fucking clubhouse and just don't show up at a fucking event. You need to be on the phone with somebody, talk to somebody, get an invite. If you know them, that's a different story. You know, yeah, you can pull up on them, whatever it is. But if you don't know them, you should be parlaying. You should be talking to somebody beforehand, because you don't know what you're walking into and you don't know what you're going into. You know, just and that's the aspect of it is parlaying. Make sure motherfuckers know what's up and this and that. And when you come, show respect. And if you can, you know, if you want to bring something, bring a drink. That's customary, whatever it is. Don't put your lids on the bar, shit like that. Just simple processes. But make sure you take care of the house and take care of the things, you know. And then if you sitting there like, oh, I ain't gonna pay to get in your fucking spot, but they charge you. Come on, man. You know, I mean, that's something that should have been talked about and should have been parlayed before you got your ass to the club. Because if you expect that you're not gonna pay and you know you was going to this event, you should have been in their ear, like, yo, man, slip us through the back, do whatever you got to do, blah, 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 blah. And that's the way you do business. But there's too many people that's just showing up at a fucking clubhouse, people walking in, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, these motherfuckers getting in for free and y'all motherfuckers charging us $30 at the door. Come on, man. You know, that's just kind of how it is, man.
Let me say this, my man Country, down the pound MC. What up, Country? At Selling Guns, if an OMC visits a 99% clubhouse, are they supposed to abide by their house rules? And if they don't, what should you, the 99%, do? Country, nigga, in my house, these are my rules. Either you abide by them, or you can take the window or the stairs.
Not the window.
And that's for anybody. Understand this. Understand what I'm going to tell you. Again, again. Let me stress this, because I stress this to all my FHOMA members, all of my FHO members, from the ladies to the men. You start your day off as a man or woman. You go through your day as a man or woman, and you end your day as a grown man or grown woman. If I have a house, a clubhouse, and my rules to come in my clubhouse say, hey, you must take your shoes off, hop on 1 foot for the first 5 feet. The second 5 feet, you dance like this, do the jiggle, hokey pokey, turn yourself around to come in. And that's not what you want to do. Then guess what? You don't come to fucking my clubhouse. And we have in place procedures, precautionary measures, and security measures in place to stop anybody else, or to stop anybody from doing that. This whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, this whole thing, hands down, is about respect. Now, just like a person, a clubhouse invite doesn't say, oh, on the 99% side, you don't have to be invited, only on the 1% side. No, you have to be invited to any and everybody's house.
Absolutely.
I don't get, you can't go to your auntie house, and that's your auntie, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Auntie Pro, did you call first, baby? Oh, with Auntie Pearl. Auntie Pearl, let him motherfucker in that don't call. It's the same thing.
You say fuck around.
So my question,
bro, Uncle John doing something.
that part right there. So that's all I'm saying for my man Country. Yes, to answer your question, yes, he has to abide by the rules of that clubhouse, or don't come in. And I'm gonna say this part of it too. If you don't want to abide by their rules to come in, then don't take your ass home mad and gather up your brothers and come back and say you're gonna change the rules of this club. That's their motherfucking clubhouse.
That's something that, you know, come on, man. I mean, I don't understand elements of that. And to kind of touch on that, what Country said, man, is if you get to a situation where you have somebody that's acting a fool, the only thing you can do is try to, I mean, as a 99, try to do what you can do to try to, bring the level down, things like that, and just address it. And then the next thing that you understand is, that's when a reach out happens and saying, look, man, your people came in, they disrespected our clubhouse. Look, man, 1%ers ain't assholes all the time, man. There might be a situation or a problem or issue and this and that. You catch them offline and talk to them, and they just be like, yo, I got you, man. We understand how it is. But the thing that comes down to it, whatever it is, if you got a 1%er and them motherfuckers is just in the area acting a fool, trust me when I tell you this, it ain't gonna last, man. You can't have people that's running doing shit crazy for a long period of time, man. This is 2020, man. Shit, you do some shit like that, man, and run up in somebody's clubhouse, man. People gotta understand, man. Motherfuckers ain't fighting no more, man. I mean, and when you have situations and scenarios like that, man, first and foremost, man, we should be respecting ourselves, as men. But I'm gonna say this, man, and I say it out to the dominants out there. If you want people to respect you and you want to have respect, the first thing that you have to understand is that motherfucking street, boy, it goes both fucking ways. So you have to be the one as leaders, as we are leaders, you have to be the one that understands that and lives by it. Because if you're not living by respect and having respect, then how do you expect people to respect you? Because people are only gonna live so long with a foot on their neck before they eventually rise up. That's history, man. We talking from the start to the finish.
Understand this. You will, a scared person will, if you make a person scared, your ass in trouble. Let me say that, and I'm gonna say this before, and I'm gonna put this call. I got a very important call on the phone, calling all the way from Canada. I'm gonna say this. Stop thinking that 1% OMC means I'm Superman and you regular man. To all my 99%ers and independents and the whole 9 yards. All of us are the same. They have chosen to motorcycle on a different level of motorcycling. But man, there is, God didn't create no two kinds of man. It's man, period. And I think what's being lost is that the fear factor of the unknown, of not understanding who a 1%er is, or who a 1%er is, or who a 1%er, what they really are about, has caused this whole entire thing to just fall apart. It just caused us, man, to be where we are now in a total disarray, from the whites not liking the black, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that is a big problem. Caller, state your name and where you're calling from, what you got to say.
What up, Smoke? This is sorry, what up, Saul? This is Smoke from the Lost Gypsies Nation, calling all the way from.
You still there? Oh, y'all done froze, man. I don't know if they still on, man. They done froze. Sell done froze on my side. So can y'all hear Sell them? Can y'all hear what's going on? They done straight froze. Okay. I think they just went, I don't know if they went offline or not, man, but yeah, he froze. Okay, cool. One of the things, I think somebody dropped it up and said that there's a lot of rules, and I kind of tossed something up there. And what I addressed with the rules is, a lot of these specific rules that have been around for many years in terms of protocols and traditions, and these rules were there specifically so that the dominants themselves, first can get along. And again, like I've said this a lot of times, and I always say this on my chat, or I say it on my thing. People don't understand that this has gotten so big from what it used to be. Like we was real small. This whole segment, everything was small, and so all of a sudden we have this huge explosion. So the general rules that used to be specific and they were understood, those rules are not being passed down, and they weren't being passed down. Everybody kind of progressed themselves and everybody stayed to themselves. So you had specific 1%ers that they did 1% shit. That's all they did. They didn't fuck around with nobody else. And then you had independents and 99s. They kind of did their things or whatever it is. And the OMCs, they fucked around with the 1%ers, but everybody was a nucleus and everybody kind of did their own thing. And that's the separation, is that we have so much integration and so much, like intermixing and stuff like that. And that's where things have to change. And that's where we, like sometimes I'm going to say it, I'm not good with change. I'm a traditionalist. I love things to be old school tradition and things like that. The problem that we have is that the old school tradition has not been passed down. So because it's not being passed down, information is not being done. When people are prospecting for 90 days and all of a sudden they're full patch, you don't learn nothing in 90 days. That's just a simple process. There's no way you can learn fucking whatever he is unless you guys are together every fucking day for 90 days. That's a different story. But 9 times out of 10, these motherfuckers getting together on the weekends. That's all they fucking doing. So that's one of the biggest issues and problems. And everybody, like I just seen somebody talk about the pop-up clubs. Pop-up clubs are not the problem. Pop-up clubs necessarily are not the specific problems. The problem with pop-up clubs is the fact that if you have a club that pops up and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, they learn, they know, they have the information, everything happens, and they've done things the right way, damn, I mean, that's it's a pop-up club. That's a new club. You don't know what that club eventually could be. But the thing that comes down to it is you have clubs that used to be this club, and now all of a sudden they got pissed off because they couldn't do this. Now all of a sudden they popping up and they bring in the same bullshit that they was doing and they're fucking up in the other club. Now they're bringing it to the table, and there's no way to stop them because now all of a sudden the same dude that was the president or the same dude that wanted to be the president, but now he's the president, he's bringing his old bullshit ass shit to the set. And that's the problem with pop-up clubs. But the information is not being addressed and it's not being put aside. And that's the biggest issue that happens right now in today's world is in the 21st century, and somebody just dropped it, I was getting ready to say that, in the 21st century, what we're looking at and the things that we address during this time frame is there has to be a change in specifically what we're doing in terms of getting together, being around each other, and things like that. That integration, man, that integration is needed right now because there's so many fallacies. And I said this on the page, and I talked about this on the page. When I went to Colorado, I absolutely hated One Nation. I didn't hate them because I didn't know about it. I really didn't know the motherfuckers. But I didn't like them because of one situation that happened in one event, and I hated the fucking nation. And the crazy shit about it was me and one of the guys became probably the closest friends, went to his birthday parties, went to his barbecues. He was at my barbecues. We talked the other day, had a great time, just chatting with each other, catching up with each other. And none of that would have happened if I hadn't just stopped for a second and saying, I'm not going to judge this man for what his club did. I'm going to judge this man on the merits that he brings to the table. And that's where I say to you guys, it's time for us to stop living in these fallacies. We don't have to stand together and sing kumbaya, this and that, but we don't have to fear each other, and we don't have to be in that scenario, that situation. We can just basically get along, and it's basically called we exist within each other, but we don't necessarily have to just be around each other all the time. But man, when we get a chance to see each other and we get a chance to spend some time around each other, we don't want to be sitting over in the corner waiting for the next person to do this or whatever it is and blah, 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 because that's a missed opportunity to get a chance to meet somebody because you don't know what that person's been through. You don't know what that person's done. Man, that person could turn around and be somebody that you can conversate with, communicate, whatever it is. You never even know, it might be a guy save your life one day. And that's where we really, have to get back to the process of, we're riding our bikes. You're getting out there on the road. You guys heard this before. If you guys haven't heard this, man, I rode as an independent. And say I was 9. I was never 99. I went from an independent to 1% Club. But as an independent, I rode up and down the East Coast from Virginia all the way down to Florida. And I caught up with a guy that me and him, we would just ride. It was the fifth time that we had got together and rode. And I'm talking about from Virginia all the way down. Like I would pick him up outside of Emporia. And it was the 5th time that we actually rode that I finally found out his name. I mean, we just rode. That we didn't have nothing to really talk about. We just kind of rode, and we would stop for breaks. We would just chop it up, and we would just talk. And one day he shows up, and he was a member of one of the Big Fours. And I was just shocked. I was like, I didn't even know who he was or whatever it is. And he said, you know what? It don't matter what I am or what club I'm in. He goes, man, we're just bikers. We're riding. And that was a lesson, man, that I learned. And this was like probably 2007-ish. And that was a lesson that I learned from him is we don't have to worry about this and worry about that and worry about all the rest of the bullshit that we're worried about. All we have to worry about is getting our fucking bikes riding. And when you meet somebody, man, get a chance to know that person, man. Get a chance to break bread with that person, I mean, it's so important, man. So, you there? He still ain't there, man. Y'all throw some what's the names, man? I mean, that's just how it is. I'm trying to see if anybody else. Oh, man, like people always say that, man. They just talk about that, man. And I go back to the East Bay Dragons, man. I go back to the chosen guys who chosen for you. And I can't, man, I keep it goes in my head, but Soul Brothers was out there, and there was one other club that was out there. There was a couple members from the Defiant Ones that they would come in and out of